Another crab's treasure is finally out, but it's tough Souls-like, and not everyone gets it on the first try, and that's okay. I'm pretty far into the game now, and I wanted to give some good tips and tricks to the new players. Stick around to hear the last tip, it'll knock your shell off. Footage in this video includes only the first couple areas as to not spoil locations and bosses later on. The first tip I can give to you is always wear your shell. Now I think that goes without saying, but for some hardcore veterans, they consider shells not necessary. But if you're watching this video, then you definitely need to wear one at all times. And don't be afraid if it breaks, there's always other trash lying around for you to wear. Each shell comes with some notable information, the amount of health it has to withstand attacks, and the weight points. A heavier shell will make your dodge roll worse and worse, medium, then large. But heavier shells also have more health points to withstand blows. Try and play around until you find your favorite shell. And that leads directly into my second tip for new players, insurance. And no, I'm not talking about the kind that you get from your parents or your work. I'm talking about the kind you can buy with your cold, wet microplastics. Once you reach the third area of the game, the city, you can find a nice old lady who will let you purchase insurance on your shell. This gameplay element is not to be skipped over. This means when you inevitably die, you will respawn at the nearest moon shell with your insured shell. No longer will you have to look around for your favorite shell with the Juggernaut ability or the Rollout ability. You can just choose it. You can also insure multiple shells and flip between them at the moon shell. I personally like the Little Bro shell because it has a large hit point base. My next two favorite shells are the Yogurt Cup shell because it's medium weight and the ability allows you to heal over time on use. I also enjoy the Soda Can for its ability to send bubbles at your enemies. These bubbles stagger the enemy and allow you to reposition your fights. I use this for the first 3 boss fights to make it easier. My third tip is a very important one. Make sure to level up. It is extremely important to level up as you play throughout the game, but it's also very important what you choose to level up with, as you can't reset your levels until midway through the game. What points you put in is a big personal preference, but my tip for all of you watching is to choose Vitality. Vitality is how much health you have and how much health your kelp pods will heal for. Your second stat to level out is up to you. If you find you like using Shell's abilities in combat, or the magic attacks gained throughout your playthrough, then level up Umami. If you find you are losing a lot of fights, even with low-level enemies, then boost your defense stat. This makes it easier for your shell to take less damage when you block with it. My fourth tip is incredibly important for new players. Always grab the red floating mark of where you died last. Grabbing this will give you your shell you had when you died, which, before insurance, is a great way to keep your strong shells around. And more importantly, it allows you to pick up your microplastics that you lost upon death. The final tip I can give to new players, if you've stuck around this far, are stowaways. You might have brushed off stowaways when the game shows you them, because in this first part of the game, they appear to be small buffs, but believe me, they help out a ton. Some of them are small stat increases, sure, like the damage up by 1 or the resistance up by 2, but some play a huge factor in how you play the game. Another crab is a stowaway, which is a one-time use, but it will revive you when you die. Best used when you're about to fight a boss. Another great stowaway you can get early game is the +2 Vitality Starfish. Stacking 2 of these will give you a good bonus to your health early game. My favorite stowaway is the companion fish you find hidden later on in the game. All these stowaways cost spots on your shell, so make sure when you're in the city to upgrade the space on your shell to equip more and more stowaways, as better stowaways usually take more spots. And that's all the tips I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed and feel ready to take on another attempt at that boss. If any of these helped you out today, or you didn't know them before, please consider subscribing and dropping a like. If you have any more questions that I can help you with, go ahead and drop them in the comments below.